All right, one foreign policy expert says the Columbia University protests are part of a larger effort to destroy Western civilization. Here's One America's Nathaniel Manner.
It's day 8 of the anti-Israel protests at Columbia University as pro-Palestine demonstrators continue to illegally occupy the area by camping out on university property. They've routinely intimidated Jewish students and faculty, such as deactivating Professor SHADOWBANNING's keycard, as well as creating Zoom classes for Jewish students rather than arresting the protesters. Here to unpack this for us is the author of The Multi-Front War, Kenneth Abramowitz. Kenneth, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure, it's a pleasure as always.
All right, so recently 2 GOP senators called on Joe Biden to send in the National Guard, comparing this to the Little Rock Nine of 1957. They say the administration has failed to protect Jewish students, calling this a modern-day pogrom. Do you think that the Biden administration actually will take federal action against these pro-Hamas activists?
Well, the Biden administration is conflicted because it's trying to keep a number of different audiences happy, as if anyone is happy anymore. And it should, when you have a battle between good and evil, which is a physical battle in the Middle East and it's a cultural battle in America, you have to stand firmly behind good and firmly against evil. And that's just not the nature of the Biden administration.
Well, speaking of the nature of the Biden administration, as you just brought up there, we also saw Joe Biden recently during a speech say that while he does condemn anti-Semitism on college campuses, he also used that occasion to talk about the hatred that Palestinians are facing, just completely ignoring the issue of what anti-Semitism is. Why can't the Biden administration or any other Democrats really just come out and condemn anti-Semitism outright? Why are they trying to make this a both sides issue?
Because within the Biden administration electorate, I call it a coalition government. And it's a coalition of what I call the reds, the greens, and the blues. There's socialists and communists, traditional color for red, Islamists, traditional color for Islam, but I'm not talking about Muslims, I'm talking about Islamists. Muslims who use Islam as a political movement. And then there's the blues there, which are the globalists. So when you have a color-coded blue for the United Nations color, so when you have a coalition government full of reds, greens, and blues, that's how you got elected. So it's hard to turn on that population when you get into a crisis and declare that one or two or all three do not understand an issue or exaggerating an issue or wrong on an issue, because that is the base. That's what happens when you get elected with a base of, I would say, un-American thinkers. It's hard to scold them for being un-American because that's who they are.
All right, I want to touch on that last point you brought up about the blues for being globalists, because there's now speculation that's emerged saying that this is being organized by, I guess, some sort of outside group, because people like Mayor Eric Adams are asking why everyone has the same exact identical green tent in the camp. What's your take on this?
Our outside enemies are very active in this. Our outside enemies, which are the reds, the greens, and the blues, also have agents in America that they've activated to complain about Israel's behavior. Now, Israel's behavior in the Middle East is fighting evil. So that should be a pretty simple American policy to help our number one ally fight evil. It should not be complicated. Israel's fighting Darth Vader. But what the bad guys are doing, in particular the reds, greens, and the blues, and more in particular, Iran and Qatar, who are financing Islamic extremism, they're basically paying their agents to create turmoil and chaos. So when I see the protesters, I divide them quickly into the 10% and 90%. 90% are useful idiots, as Lenin used to say 100 years ago, but 10% are the ringleaders, and they're being financed by Qatar and Iran to create chaos.
All right, Kenneth Abramowitz, as always, it's great to talk with you today.
Pleasure as always.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.